Hey, family, this is Dr. William Clark here. Happy to be with you again for another episode and glad you're able to join me today for today's live broadcast. We're going to be talking about a number of things here. And at the center of today's topic, it's all about how do you effectively lead your nonprofit organization. A lot of people are trying to figure this thing out, particularly if you're looking to get off the ground or you're looking to kind of get from this unstuck place or position, and you're just not sure what steps you should take or need to take. And this conversation that I'm getting ready to play for you addresses a number of issues. And so we're going to be talking about four different topics here in this broadcast. First, we're going to be talking about the leadership gaps that can sink your organization. Secondly, we're going to be talking about the keys to effective fundraising. Third, we're going to be talking about customer service as a business model. And then fourth, customer service as a moral and personal standard. So I want to encourage you to plug in to each of these categories, each of these topics as we go through them. Find your footprint within this conversation so that you can start to work through the challenges that you are seeing for your leadership and your organization. If you want to get in touch with me, just simply go to drwilliampclark.com. Again, that's drwilliampclark.com. And there you can find out about me, my company, Eli Patrick & Co. Get on my calendar for a free consultation or even move the ball forward and work with us, right? We are happy to entertain new projects. We also have other resources on our website that we believe will be super helpful for you and to you on your journey. With that being said, let's get right into our show.
But when comments like that are made, typically it's made. I typically hear comments like that from leaders who don't have experience in a key area to effectively lead. And so it could be a programmatic lack, for example, right? When this person says they don't have enough money, it could be that they don't know how to run the program effectively and efficiently. It's like um it is like having a 5-year-old cook an entire gourmet meal for a family of six, and you expect that 5-year-old to do this without messing up the kitchen and wasting the resources in the fridge. It's not going to
Got
happen.
you.
You understand what I'm saying? So the something might get made that's edible, but what's going to be guaranteed is a complete mess and waste of resources that you probably spend a lot of money on in the fridge. And
Right.
so when somebody has no programmatic experience, but they have other experience that's helpful, the lack of programmatic experience can lead to significant waste where they may be throwing way too many resources at the program operations than necessary. So let's say this person has programmatic experience, but doesn't have money management experience. Well, they may be spending too little money on something because they're trying to be cheap, or they're overpaying for something or paying the right price, but too much of it.
I
You
think I
understand what I'm
get
saying?
that. Yeah, because I do the bills as well, and they pay $880 for internet. Like we
A
don't have
month.
any cable. Yes.
So now see so then that comes down to again money management negotiation. I don't know the facility size. I don't know the location of this facility, if it takes a lot to get internet out there or the type of speed necessary. Um, I can tell you it's been a while since I've had to do those calculations. I don't know if that's right or not. But here's the third way to think about lack of experience. Let's say this person has programmatic experience. They have good experience managing the books, but they don't have experience raising money. And that can be a huge deficit. So and you will hear me say this repeatedly throughout our course time. There are three secrets to raising money that I teach my clients and rely upon it, things that I have built my career. Number one, you got to have a strategy to raise money and to do the things that generate money. Secondly, you got to have outcomes. So when I say you don't know how to raise money, it's not simply do you know how to write a grant, do you submit them on time? That's part of it. But if you don't run programs that get outcomes, you can literally lose money 2 years down the road today. The way you're functioning in 2023 can be a projection of what you're going to gain or lose in 2025,
Right.
because funders are looking at the outcomes or the lack thereof to determine invitations for future funding opportunities, who they refer to their friends who are funders to consider for future opportunities, or just straight cutting you off, right? And this also impacts programmatic reports. If your quarterly reports are weak, there's always an excuse as to why something isn't done. You are hurting your ability to raise money. Conversely, if your programmatic quarterly reports are strong starting in Q1 and Q2, you're setting yourself up for significant financial success. Maybe not with the same funder, but for future funders, because funders, they communicate. And then the fastest way to raise money is through relationships. So now you have a strategy, whether it's through grants, proposals, RFPs, contracts, earned income. You have performance, the results that you're targeting to get. And then you have relationships. If this ED fails in one or more of these areas, they are hurting their revenue generating ability. If this person is not personable, they just like the work but doesn't like to build relationships with the people who write the checks, very problematic. There has to be time committed to, coffee, networking, lunch dates, breakfast dates, events, roundtables. I mean, the things that build relationships. This is not a suggestion that you need to go and become BFFs with funders. One is not realistic, but it's really doing the things that cultivate business development. And if experience is lost in the programmatic side, the financial management side, or the fundraising side, or any other side, the complaint about not having enough money may be the top line complaint, but there's a deeper symptom to a sickness that you all might not be privy to. And you're going to hear this from me in the lectures. I take very seriously the work that we do with our customers. Now, regardless of what you specialize in as a nonprofit, I expect students, clients to treat customers with respect. The question is, who are your customers? The customers are the people that come through the door. Now, why do I feel that way? I think there are personal stories as to why I feel that way, but let me talk business for a moment. Every person that walks through the door pays little to no money for your services, yet they are worth thousands of dollars alone. Every butt in a seat, every pair of feet that walks into a class, every finger that logs onto a Zoom, every pair of eyeballs that watches a video for free, they are literally worth thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. How do you know? When you look at your grants and you're given a six-figure grant, $1 million grant to serve X number of people to get X number of outcomes, you divide that number into the amount of money you got, that will tell you how much your customers are worth. And when you look at your customers as people who are worth that amount of money, you tend to treat them different. You go into a Gucci store, a Prada store, a Neiman Marcus, a Mercedes dealership. If you are working at those facilities, you treat those customers a different type of way than you do at Walmart, because those people who come into those stores, you anticipate have some sort of resources to acquire this expensive product. But what people tend to do in this business, they look at your clients who are going to the methadone clinic, who coming out of prison, kids who are coming from tough backgrounds, and have been on public assistance for forever. And we look at them and we treat them as if they are worthless. From a humanistic perspective, you're wrong. Morally, ethically, you're wrong. From a business perspective, you're wrong. If you don't know how to get those folks into your program, you're losing money. So now, once you understand this, this becomes a strategy regarding how do you speak their language. Another way to look at this, look at your MBA program. This is called marketing. It's called sales. These are basic principles you guys are learning or have learned. You got to understand your demographic of your customer. And if you don't know how to appeal to them or to know where they are so that you can sell to them, you're not going to meet your numbers, meaning you're not going to hit performance goals. And that means you will not have that same pot of money within 1 to 2 years. So what you're saying, Latasha, gives me vibes that there's a fundraising challenge, particularly with performance results, which is tied to recruitment, enrollment, some sort of service, placement, retention. And all this is proven out with the absence of data, I assume. And when there's no data to report and you're making up numbers or you're embellishing stories, your funders who are super smart, who've been in this business for a long time and seen it all, they know there's nothing behind this smoke. Yeah, I mean, I talk about the business now, but what got me going about how we treat our customers was when A couple things happened to me. I almost became homeless, and it was super personal. And then I started ministering to homeless men, two, three times my age, having an impact there. Then I was working at public housing, which really introduced me to homelessness. And even though I expected to see homeless families look a certain type of way, when they walked in that door, they looked just like you and I. They looked like nothing ever happened to them, but they were victims of life, fire, domestic violence, random acts of God, whatever that caused them to be homeless for the current season of their life. And when I saw that these people looked just like me and you, it hurt. It broke my heart. And I knew I will never, as long as I'm in this public space, disrespect these people, talk down to these people, talk with them with the tone. This is before I learned the business. This is before I was elevating in my career. And I made it my business. Mm-mm. There's like this righteous indignation I get with public servants and nonprofit professionals when they don't treat customers right.
Right.
Because quite frankly, that could be you and I, just like that. God forbid, but it could be you and I. So